Hello and welcome to TelecomTV. I'm Martin Warwick and I'm talking with Vasil Radoka of NEC Netcracker. Vasil, pleasure to meet you and thanks for coming in to talk to us. I'd like to talk to you about the current state of NFV in light of what happened here a year ago at this particular event. NFV doesn't seem to have moved forward with quite the amount of speed and acceptance that people perhaps thought it would. And you gave a speech here last year about this very fact. Tell us what happened then.
Last year, I had a chance, a privilege to present a vision about the NFV SDN evolution, and we realized at the time that while we do understand different components in terms of service paths, in terms of how we put all the building blocks to create a service, what was missing was how we do integrate all the components, which are moving parts coming from so many sources. And the system integration, prime system integration, is one of the key elements we call elephant in the room in order to glue all this together. So as a vision, as a prediction, and what was happening from then to now, we really work very hard with most of the tier 1 service providers around the world to unlock these potentials. So we arrive to a point where the service provider understand the system integration, the prime system integration on different levels, NFV infrastructure, services, OSS. It's one of the key building blocks, the key enablers. So this is very good result for the last year. What we have seen right now, we move into the next stage, is about scaling, about understanding what are the tools on the specific interlock points to really to facilitate, to accelerate this kind of integration of the components. So right now we call the second wave in terms of developing platform, tools, processes that are open by nature. They create a flexibility interlock between us as a vendor, between service provider and ecosystem and the partnership. In some way, a kind of dancing 2 or 3, as a party, as a tango. It's a kind of twist between us and service provider, but also the ecosystem. And from NEC Netcracker, it's our DNA to build a strategic partnership so we can bring a solution end-to-end to the service provider. We need to do this. And if you look in our heritage, because of OSS, BSS stronghold, we know how to do this. It's our DNA to integrate various components from legacy, physical. As we move forward, we evolve the network to integrate also NFV. So it's part of the play. And obviously from the service provider, it's part of what they call multi-vendor unlocking, multi-technologies to be integrated. So we believe that as we go the second way, we can be one of the key players on this kind of evolution on the market.
Thank you. So your predictions that you made last year have come true. You see the second wave, you see your way through this and how to facilitate it. But there is more than one approach to the market, is there not?
In terms of vendors, let's park on 2 or 3 kind of components. In terms of the vendors, what we have seen is that we have the traditional vendors in the telco side. They're looking to build a solution from the bottom to top. And the reality is that in this kind of in this kind of thinking process, there is a gravitational field on the box kind of mentality. On the other hand, we have the top-down, where we have the vendors like us, which are coming from software as a DNA, OSS, BSS, that for us, integration, operation, service orchestration, moving down to different components is kind of a natural way to evolve. So we see that if we look on these 2 perspectives, will be obvious 2 kind of direction evolution paths, but as you move this kind of evolution, the hybrid type of network from the current mode of operation to more software-defined networks, we believe that the top-down approach will be better and glue the things together, because basically they're software things.
What is the particular benefit of the top-down approach?
I think the benefit is that probably is really we can accelerate the integration between different technologies, between vendors to create this kind of really a truly multi-vendor approach. And because also we try to position ourselves as a system integration, right, a vendor, we can really bring together a large ecosystem to create this kind of solution end to end. By the end of the day, in our view, a way how we build a solution that basically the services will be decoupled from the implementation, from selection of the implementation in terms of vendors and in terms of deployment. If you create this kind of 3 levels of decoupling, this is our goal, then basically allow service provider to think in terms of what are the services and benefits from their customer, then to how they can roll out these services, and then they can bring what vendors can implement this solution on specific deployment scenario. We want to create this kind of fully decoupling model, which we believe is the right approach for them. Think forward to the customer. We take care about implementation, selection process, and how we can integrate the parts together. I think this is a fundamental thing that differentiate ourselves versus the vendor that come from the bottom to top.
Final question to you is this. Classically, in the telco vendoring environment, it's a particular skill set, and it's based on the history of the network, of the telco network. What's missing in many cases are the IT skills that are, they're absent from it. Yeah. So what do you provide at NEC Netcracker in that regard that others can't from the classical model of the telco vendor?
So this is a great question, and I think what in our side, obvious being an IT player, a major IT player, we know very well about agile processes, about DevOps, about integration in mediation between different components on the east-west layer and also north-south between different components. What really we tried, and I believe we succeeded, is to take this concept and to generalize this concept on NFV at scale. So we talk about agile at scale with rational unified process. We talk about DevOps moving what we call integration DevOps at scale, because again, we try to create a field player where we can integrate parties that come from startup, from vendors, for different kind of profiles, to create a solution that meet the customer requirements. So these are the key elements we believe we bring to the market. In additional things, I think we are very strong in analytics and in the way we can abstract the part of the network in the software side and build this, let's say, the algorithm kind of software-defined solution for the customer.
Okay, interesting stuff, certainly different. Vasil Radoka, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much to be here. Thanks.